So when Roy says that being a Buddha isn't enough, is he saying that Buddha consciousness is self-realization, but it's not God-realization? When Roy says being a Buddha isn't enough, I can't speak for him, but my thought on this is that when someone says being a Buddha isn't enough, and the Buddha said if you find the Buddha on the road, kill him, right? I mean, it's the same idea, because if you become a Buddha, and then you are identified with being a Buddha, you're conditioned again. We start where we are. We start in our conditioning, and we work through it, and we aim to be what we would consider to be, quote, more spiritual, which would be happier, healthier, clearer, more wise. All right? And then we have an idea of what that's like, and then we become it. But once we become it, then we become limited to just be that. And we have to remember that the idea behind awakening, according to one text, is to live a natural and spontaneous life contentedly, which means you are not bound. You act appropriately in the moment. And so if you are trying to be a Buddha or a spiritual person and say the appropriate response is to yell at someone, get out of your way, or quit beating you up, or whatever it might be, that's appropriate. If you have this attachment that a spiritual person or a Buddha type conscience can only do certain things, you are saying that if I do thus and so, I'm no longer spiritual, or I'm no longer a Buddha. And that's not true. Once you're a Buddha, you're always a Buddha. So we're talking in circles here. I know it sounds like a paradox, but the main thing is that when you aim to be a spiritually enlightened person, you have your concept. You live up to that concept. Once you've experienced that concept, then you exist in freedom, and you don't have to define yourself by what your expectations of a spiritual person is to be like. So one more question, then we'll meditate together. All right, so this is a meditation question. We can do this together when we meditate. When we are moving up the chakras with the Om vibration, are we still keeping our attention at our third eye or splitting attention? Now, let me describe this, so if you want to practice it during the meditation, you can. Basically, there's a meditation technique where you focus on each chakra, 1st through 7th, and say you start at the first chakra and you chant mentally, Om, 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 and you feel as though there's a resonation at that chakra, Om, and you keep going. And you lift your awareness up to the 2nd chakra and you chant Om, 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 feeling as though that chakra is resonating. And so on all the way up to the top. Once you get to the top, you go back down. Once you get back down, you go back up, and you finish up here. Okay? And what the question is asking is, when you're doing this, do you chant here while simultaneously keeping your attention at the spiritual eye? In my experience, it's good if you can. So what that means is you're feeling your forehead, you're aware of this 6th chakra here, while simultaneously aware of the root chakra chanting Om, the 2nd chakra chanting Om, and so on all the way up. Now, you don't have to do that if you can at first. You keep your attention at each chakra that you're at. You go up, you go down, and so on until you get back up here and here. And then when you're done, you just hold your attention in the higher chakras. So really, what you want to do is, if you can do that, hold your attention here while going through the chakras, do it. If you can't, if it's more distracting, more frustrating, just keep your attention at each of the chakras. And then in time, you will find that you can keep your awareness both places. Okay? Any questions about that? I want to make sure that that's clear, because it's a good meditation technique to use.
So it is a split.
To a degree, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That same question arose to me a couple of days ago while I was meditating.
Yeah. And it just takes practice. You can do it. I mean, just similarly, like you can be aware of both hands at the same time. I mean, you can feel one hand and you can feel the other at the same time. It just takes practice to be able to hold it there. And the reason we recommend doing that here and here at the same time is because when you hold your attention at the spiritual eye, at the 6th chakra, that helps to lift you above fragmented states of awareness, helps to lift you above the mind. So if you hold it there for the duration of your meditation, it makes meditation a heck of a lot easier, and it also keeps you alert and awake and above, subconscious thought processes. Okay. All right. Very good. Let's go ahead and meditate together now. And if you want to use that technique, by all means do so. It's a good one. So turning your attention within, Open your heart and your mind to the infinite. And acknowledge God is real to you. Acknowledge the saints and the sages of all enlightenment traditions and the clarity of their state of consciousness in this world. And in this meditation, chapel will specifically honor the Kriya lineage of Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, Paramahansa Yogananda, Roy Eugene Davis, and the successors and teachers of all of them, of all of the Kriya tradition, the world over. And know that by attuning to, by thinking about enlightened teachers, enlightened people, that we link up to their state of consciousness and we are able to more easily access a clear, infinite, superconscious state. Go ahead and meditate however you're inclined, using techniques that have worked for you in the past, in a surrendered yet alert manner.